In my own experience, during the pregnancy with my son, the umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck. It was suggested that his mother have a C-section, and at the age of 22 years old, I wasn't aware of the options and didn't know what to do other than follow the doctor's instructions. I asked the nurse about the alternatives.
It really depends, because we've seen babies in a birth center setting or a home birth setting that may have had the cord wrapped around, but the cord was long enough, it was wet enough, all the midwife did was slip it from over the child's neck, right? But again, they're birthing in a certain position. They've walked. They went into labor on their own. They are 39, 40 weeks, 41 weeks. The baby is on top of the cervix. As the baby is coming down, the baby is coming down with the cord. So the baby is being birthed, and all you got to do is move it. So it's also, what led to that, to the mom being in the hospital setting, was the mama full term? Was she induced? Was the baby ready? Was the baby on top of the cervix? All those type of things, because the cord being wrapped around in and of itself does not all the time mean that that's an emergency. But it's always like, what's missing? What else? Right. What was the what else?
Yeah, because at the time I didn't know. So and not knowing, it's like when you're in that position, it's just like, well, what do I do?
And I feel like that's the main difference between the midwifery model of care and what happens in the hospital, because we want to welcome the daddies in. That's when the daddy, you part of the birth team. Right. This is what's going on here. We want to welcome you to ask questions, all that type of stuff. And in the OB setting in the hospital, they even wait for fathers to use the bathroom to come in the room and start getting the mama to do something that the mama and the husband, done said, or the partner done said they wanted to do. Then they, oh, daddy, go ahead and go get you something to eat. And then while you done got something to eat, they in there, and you done come back, she done got epidural, all type of stuff that y'all had said y'all wasn't going to do. And they waited, and they're very strategic. They strategically wait until you left. I will tell men, and especially our brothers, stand by the bed. If the doctor always comes to the door on one end, you stand on the end where you can be facing the doctor, but close to the mama, not to the foot of the bed, but up here by the mama. If anybody comes in and your wife, woman, whoever is undressed, her legs is up and everything, you need to tell her, who is this? You the man in there. All of a sudden, you don't stop being the man of your woman because you're in a hospital setting. That's disrespectful to just come into a room and you got a black woman legs in stirrups, you got white men in and out, whoever in and out, they not announcing themselves. It might be respiratory team, which they have on staff, which is totally fine. But if he enters the room, he needs to say, hey, respiratory, I'm John, do y'all need me? Because he doesn't necessarily have to be in the room, he could be at the door. Unless they done signal something like, is mom a smoker? Is this a premature baby? Is this something and then they need to be telling you, hey, we're going to have respiratory in the room just in case when the baby is born, we need to do some resuscitation on the baby, right? But we need to understand that we deserve respect as humans, period. And we're still living in a day and age that as black people, we're not seen as humans. Or it doesn't matter that your legs wide open. It doesn't matter that she may be undressing or she might be dealing with a decision she didn't know she had to make. And they're not allowing you to have that time, and they just bring people in. I'm really encouraging brothers to speak up. Talk to your woman, and when y'all got them times to talk by yourself and say, hey, I'm going to ask this question, or you want me to remind you about this question? Didn't you have a question on this, that, and the other? So she can remember to speak up, for things that y'all have spoke about or y'all have questions about. And don't let those people do that thing where they think that, you being intimidated because you speak with your hands or whatever like that. If you got a question, you're going to ask it, because when the white men in there and they got a question about their wife, they ask. And they say what they want to say.
If Mecca did this.